What is your story? Where did you find your brand? What is my story? I work in a steel mill. That's what I do for a living. I just don't do just this. I work in a steel mill. And when MAC Cosmetics started, everybody was going to get it, and I wanted it too. I wanted what everybody else was getting it, but I went twice to a local mall. I went twice. I thought I was looking good coming out the store, but when I got out, I don't think it wasn't the product. It was nothing wrong with the product. It was the lighting. So each time that was $30 thrown out the door because she didn't match me right. So again, I was trying, your local dollar stores, Walmarts. I was trying their foundation, and I liked it, and I love makeup. I always loved to play in makeup. I love makeup ever since I was, a teenager, back when I was a teenager. But anyway, I wore the makeup. We had just started this brand new steel mill. We had just got through commissioning it. So basically we was just going to work and just cleaning up and sitting around and all of that. And I am the only female. I am the only female, African-American female in that building, period. And so I'm sitting down there, and the guys was, they were sitting down there eating. So I go down there and sit down and eat and chit and chat with them. And one of the guys, he looked at me, he said, "Oh, Miss Lee," he said, "your makeup looks good." He said, "But brand your own." He said, he said, "Stop wearing other people's stuff." He said, "Go brand your own." And I was like, okay. I never thought about it. So it was like maybe 3 months later, and I started doing research, and I started out with some matte lipsticks and some pressed mineral powder. Those were my first two products. And I just kept building, and I kept building. But listen, then I came in with eyeshadow palettes. This was way before TikTok, and I had no clue that they was going live on Facebook doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, my husband, he passed away 3 years ago, but my husband had broke his hip. He had broke his hip, and so I accumulated all of this makeup, and I wasn't pushing it. It was just sitting around. And I told my husband, I said, "Well, since you're not working," I said, "we got to get rid of this makeup some kind of way. I got to start selling it." And so I went to Memphis. I live in Arkansas, and Memphis is like an hour ride from here. That's the only mall. Well, I had one a little bit closer, but they wouldn't let me do a weekend thing. So I went to Memphis, Tennessee, and she's like, "Yeah, you can just do a Friday and a Saturday over here." And so I paid for that, and they was buying it up. Everything that I had, they was buying it up. People came in, supported. And so after we sold everything, and I waited again about another month or two, and I told my husband, I said, "Well, we worked opposite shifts. We worked at the same steel mill. We worked opposite." And I said, "Let's just get a space and see how it goes for 6 months." And so when I was working, he would go work the mall. He would go sell the makeup, and then and vice versa. And so that's how I got in it. But then the pandemic came, and that's when I learned about how to go on to the other platform and start doing my lives on the other platform. I met a lot of amazing women over there. And then when TikTok came along, you had to get that 1,000 before you could go live. And so those same amazing women, they was PRing for me. And so they came in and they was helping me get that 1,000. And after so long, after my husband passed away, I could no longer pay PRs. I just couldn't do it. And it's a whole different ball game, baby, when you're by yourself. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's a whole different ball game when that extra income is not there, when you don't have that support system as your husband. We was married for 32 years. So he passed away of cancer. So I didn't have it. And so every dollar that I got, I needed my money. I needed to pay these bills. This needs to be redone. This, you know what I'm saying? And so I couldn't do it, but they still support me. They still support me. But only the good thing that I do like about over here on TikTok, and I say this and then we'll get back to this. When you get my product and you do lives, you can always take my products and you can put them on your your live, and TikTok will pay you commission. You get your commission from me that way. So if I'm not mistaken, this one is like every time you make a sale is $4 and some change. So all of my stuff is on TikTok for commission. So that is my story, and that's how I started branding. And I started to give up about 7-8 months ago. I started to just give it up. It was just too much for me. Still thinking about, because I lost my mom and my husband. They was like 7 months. They died, passed away 7 months behind each other, and it was beginning to play a toll on me. But I sat at my desk one day and I heard them talking to me. This ain't no lie. I heard them talking to me. Get up. Get up. You can do this. And so that's where the eye candy collection came in at. And when I put the eye candy collection, I started with the eye candy collection, eyeshadow collection. It is coming back in stock, by the way. Soon as I put that out on TikTok, we sold over 100 and something pieces of that eye candy collection. And so I got back in the game because I constantly kept hearing my mom and my husband talking to me. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be all right. So here I am. So I'm steady, just coming up with ideas, steady doing my best to come out with everything. And I just want, the packaging is being presented a whole lot more better. The ideas are there and people are buying.